The protests were staged by the Joint Alliance of Petroleum, Port and Electricity Trade Unions against the sale of national assets. The protests were staged opposite the head office of the CEB, the entrance of the port and the petroleum storage terminals at Kolonnava and Sapukaskanda. The Ceylon Electricity Board, Engineers Union and the CEB United Trade Union Alliance staged the protest opposite the head office of the CEB. The protesters demanded for the LNG deal to be revoked. The chairman of the CEB said that the government can term this protest as an act against the state. We would like to ask these officials as to if they didn't see the legal manner in which they signed this agreement without even informing the cabinet and the 11 parties affiliated to the government. We are still suspicious as to if the two brothers have already sold the CEB and the power and energy sectors of the country to the Americans in secret. We would like to inform the government that we will take our struggle to the streets tomorrow.
If we stage a protest, the supply of power will break down. There will be no fuel. Operations at hospitals will break down and patients will die. So we would like to ask the government to withdraw this illegal, corrupt deal. If we have to stage a protest, we will stage a protest. This must be stopped.
We elected this government into power to stop the sale of national assets. We also told the people of this country that if this government that we elected starts to sell off national assets, we will be the first to take to the streets. The protest ended after a decision was reached for the future course of action to be announced following discussions between the trade unions. Members of ports trade unions also staged a protest in support of the trade union action of the Ceylon Electricity Board. The protest was staged opposite the entrance of the port against the LNG deal. The protesters also voiced their displeasure over the sale of lands belonging to the Ports Authority to India and China.
On the 21st of July, a cabinet paper was presented to sell 13 acres of valuable land and services offered at the port. Withdraw this cabinet paper immediately. If you do not, these employees are ready to step down from their duties tomorrow.
The time has come to stop this sale. If the government is preparing to sell off these assets again, we as trade unions cannot stand by doing nothing. Members of petroleum trade unions also staged a protest in support of the protests launched by the CEB trade unions. The protest was staged opposite the Sapukaskanda oil refinery, demanding the government to halt all attempts to amend the Petroleum Resources Act in a manner that the petroleum market will fall into the hands of foreigners. The oil tanks at the Chinese harbour in Hambantota, that is an asset of the people of this country, must be secured. The supply of petroleum was made a monopoly under Act number 28 of 1961. This must not be changed and these resources must be made national resources. If the rulers can unite to sell off these assets, we as trade unions can unite to stop the sale of these assets. A protest was also staged opposite the office of the Petroleum Corporation in Kolonnava this afternoon.
When Mahinda Rajapaksa came, he said that he does not agree with this and that he will not allow this to happen. 50 acres in Hambantota has been given to a Chinese company named Sinopec along with an oil refinery. If these are false statements, respond to them. Where can petroleum employees go?